Hello, Mr. Ken.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. And Mr. Ken, I have a little bit of change that I would like to share with you. A lot of our investor, a lot of our lender, our equity investor, and our immigrant investor. A lot of them, they wanted to know about factory bill, and for people to own a home that built by a modular versus the traditional build, they don't know how that look like. They don't have the knowledge, and the confidence that modular build it probably be better. So on today's meeting webinar, I would like to spend 10 minutes or so talk about a lot of information about the modular. We then talk about the Kubota 3 project that we're going to be building. And I lined up another project from another builder of us, have a 26 townhome that we can build. Okay. So we can build about 76 or so immediately, depend to our production and what we take, right? So let me guide before we started to dive into it, and let kind of show you the our company here, what we do. Co-op builder has been around for a while, Mr. David. Yeah, Mr. Ken. Is Mr. David on the call today, Mr. Ken?
David, actually, because we changed it, he couldn't make it. He's got with the holiday weekend. He was with some family things in Delaware, so we'll be less. I'm covering for David this morning or this afternoon.
Right. Yeah. So allow me to have 10-12 minutes here and kind of run through our company. First is that Modern Living Company, been around since 1998. And we serve over 3,000 units of residential through customer in the Puget Sound, Washington State area, Western Washington. So we pretty happy and proud of that record. Later on, we starting out, we buy land and title, develop, and then we would partner with the builder to build home. When they build about 25 to 40%, we coming in and we help them marketing, list and sell. So that partnership has been very, very well. We have this scenario that a lot of our buyers that come into our market that from different parts of Asia come across the Pacific Rim, Pacific into the U.S. and they need the visa. So 2007, we partner with another regional center starting to acquire, develop, buy land, pull in the regional center program in at a fund, and then help the people not only buying home, getting the mortgage, but also getting the U.S. citizenship through our program. So it has been a very successful program for that in a very strong market location that we moving in. The conversation I have today here is that I also want to have our home buyer, a lot of them from the local market here in Western U.S. And also in Asia that purchased this property. Our equity lender and also our partner are looking at this and they kind of understand more. They know we are the real estate guy, but they also wanted to know from you what your company, what you do as well. Before we dive into build out the Kubota 3 project that have 18 new homes, is now permit ready at the city. After 14 months working on design and development, submit, reply back and forward with the city, we now in the position ready pick up permit and build. Prior to that, we bought this property the adjacent lot with 29 lot, 29 lot. We entitled, develop, and build out the side, build out the home. We brought in Pro Bill from Puyallup coming in, build out all the 29 homes, and we listed there and we sold out. Now the good thing about Kubota 1 project and the Kubota 2, 29 home total that we developed, acquired, and entitled and permitted, is that 100% of those homes are pre-sale, meaning that people buy before we even pour the foundation, Mr. Ken. Yeah, so it's showing you that the infill property residential demand for housing is really all-time high. So we run into you. You are one of the modular build construction, has been around very, very long time, have a lot of knowledge, it's experience. It's similar to the high quality builder that we work with currently in the local market area. But and so that's how we come together and we talk about continue provide the American dream for the people that need it, and also the housing demand in Washington State and California is all-time high right now, and the affordable housing product is so supported by the governor office, by the mayor office, and we cannot be pleased to join forth with the public sector and private sector. We see the EB5 Regional Center with the affordable housing program, with the modular bill, and with the current project to make affordable housing happen for the community here. So a lot of information that I took from your company in terms of Impressa modular bill that coming in and help out with the affordable housing. And I have you, Mr. Ken, can you talk a little bit about yourself and your company and how you founded this great company of yours, please, sir?
Sure. I guess the history of in 2008, we had the Great Recession. At that point, I was a local builder doing turnkey modular construction in 4 states: Pennsylvania, Maryland, West Virginia, and Virginia. Also did some commercial work using modular for some educational facilities for a local school system. Great Recession got here, and like I tell people, the crystal ball was black. You were in real estate, I think, at that time too, Michael, and when you looked at it, you really didn't know what was going to happen in 2008. So I decided I wanted to be the first nationwide modular home builder because nobody had ever done that before. And so I started working with a website property, and keep in mind, this is 2009 now, 2008, 15 years ago. What we were doing and selling houses on the internet now, we were nowhere close to that then. So it was kind of a novel approach to go out and for me to become nationwide. So I started that website, and then I started working my way across the country. So it took me about 5 years, so from 2010 to 2015, and that's kind of the books you see over my shoulder here. I took all the tests. I'm the one that did it all. And so I worked my way about 5 to 8 states a year, became nationwide. So by 2015, I was a licensed, registered, certified builder from Florida to Maine, or Florida to Washington State, and Maine to California. And then, so we do design, order, delivery, and set across the country. So I have a factory network of about 23, 25 factories that we purchase homes from. We do the design, work with the factory. We deliver them. We manage the set of each one of these projects. A local contractor, typically, depending on where it's at, is doing the site prep and preparation for us to put the house and install it. And then, but in several areas, we also do turnkey. In 2019, I decided to start franchising our business because I wanted to start getting deep and being able to do turnkey operations in more states. So that's when I started, exploiting the franchise model. So in 2019, we did all the legal work. We got set up to be a franchise and do all of our submissions in 42 states. And we we did that. I primarily now have started that from Maine to South Carolina to Michigan. So in that large triangle that covers probably about 60% of the U.S. population, I have I have factory support. We right now I have 2 company-owned franchises. I have 4 outside franchises, and we're about ready to sign about 4 more, maybe actually possibly 6 more in the coming weeks. So we'll double our size. So that's actually growing. But I also do have a factory in South Carolina. The big growth of the United States has been to the southeast, as we have the mass exodus from New York, New Jersey, trying to head south. And so we found a key factory facility that we could convert to modular construction. That sits in Greenwood, South Carolina. And then I work as a production builder in the nearby community there. And on top of that, I'm a publisher for our industry. I own our industry magazine. And so that's part of what you saw when we met at the International Builder Show. And in addition, I do work with the industry, the 2 largest industry associations, the Modular Home Builders Association. I am the current president, and the National Association of Home Builders has a entity within it called the Building Systems Council, which handles the NAHB's off-site construction arm. And I have been a past chair of that group, and I'm actually the current vice chair, about to take over chairmanship again. So that's kind of me in a couple minute.
Thank you, Mr. Ken. And I'm pretty sure that you dedicated all your life for construction, residential, and scale them nationwide. I do the same thing. That I got from a refugee from Vietnam. I came to Hong Kong in 1989. Come to China, also Philippines, come to the U.S. 30 years ago. I also know one thing: U.S. is a country of immigrants, and the American dream is all about housing, and so it's really important to provide the housing for the people that need it the most. On top of that, I do believe American dream is housing, but to access the U.S., you need a visa to access the U.S. That's why we create EB5 Regional Center Program. We're sitting here today, and according to the National Association of Home Builder, the association that you and I part of, we know that we still shorted what are 4.6 million homes. If we are the builder community and vendor, builder, lender, public sector, giving us the permit and entitlement, to do what we need to do, we're going to have to build another 4.6 million home residential in order to meet with the demand that we have right now. And so, the idea that I'm calling for our investor, foreign direct investor, to invest it into our company through our regional center program, with the solid purpose to help to keep funding more, for our modular factory program, and also for our project, so that we can continue to supply the housing that needed. At the same time, to do that, we at the builder community can create a lot of opportunity for job growth. So that's all about this program that we do, Mr. Ken. I learned a lot from some of the floor plan that you have, from your company, and the finished work, and the express to the impress, learning about your company. Can you share with us about that?
Well,
yeah,
the name change it was really driven as a branding. We I started out as Express because it really told you what we did. I mean, we provide homes quickly. It's the nature of our business to deliver faster. We had used the word Express in the website expressmodular.com as part of establishing ourselves as a brand in 2019 and establishing that franchise. it was really kind of a reflection back on where we had come from and where we wanted to go. And we understood that express could also have connotations of cheap, and we didn't want to be associated with that. And as we grew and got bigger, and so we started looking for a new name. And really, one of the things that resonated as we did this was we build impressive homes. Everybody that walks into our houses, that's literally what they say. This is impressive. And we went to, there was literally an Italian word, impressa, which is a signature, a badge, something to look forward to. And so it was a shortened way to really translate what we thought we were doing is we are doing significant homes. We're doing things that we're proud of. And so we renamed ourselves, rebranded as Impressa Homes as part of our franchising in 2020.
That's great. And looking at some of the interior finish, the finish work, anything, from the molding to window to cabinet and bath and kitchen, everything. So I look at it as very high quality. I also have the privilege been to Las Vegas at the International Builder Trade Show and look at the finished product. I have nothing but impressed the way the product got built, and I appreciate you to ship the home all the way far east to Las Vegas so everybody can see that view, right? Tell us about it again.
We shipped it all the way back to South Carolina, and the day before yesterday, we set it on a lake lot in Lake Hartwell in South Carolina. So that house went 2,200 miles west and came 2,200 miles back east. And I was on a phone call right before this one with my project manager, and he was telling me how impressed he was of how well the house handled that amount of stress and structure with literally almost no damage whatsoever. And you just showed some beautiful pictures of the tile work, some stone work, and we didn't have cracking in any of that with that huge, that big transport. It's like I said, we build impressive homes, and I'm proud of them.
Well, again, I would agree with that. We wouldn't have this partnership and this meeting here that we introduce you to our end user, our home owner, and also our investor and our equity investor. It's so important for you to know that, for a lot of us here, learning about the modular build, knowing the product and the finished work, I have so much high confidence in the residential build, the technology, the management, the people that behind in this product, and bringing this finished product to you so that you can enjoy your home. And it's such a treat for me to be able to to meet with you, with David, and seeing the property. Such a great property, and we cannot be proud. And for a lot of our end user that cannot be able to enjoy that, right? So I wrote down here, Mr. Ken, that very quickly I wrote down modular construction resort, upside delivery method to construct a code compliant in a quality control factory setting, fabricated prefab factory build modular. Those items refer to some process manufacturing, build offsite, install on-site. And the system modular build is smarter, faster, stronger building using the traditional on-site and the construction method. One example, modular builder cannot be distinguished from one build using a site method. What would your feedback on that statement, Mr. Ken, when a modular build versus traditional build?
Well, I mean, it's part of it is the pictures you just showed. What we did at the International Builder Show by putting that model up, we intentionally just took that model and put there because when you walked into it, we did large vaulted ceilings, large open space, and a lot of people they have a misconception that modular is boxy. And if it's boxy if you want it to be, but by design, if you want large open spaces like we see in a lot of modern architecture, modern design, we can do that using modular. I do factory tours, and we just actually had one with a large consumer group this past weekend, and we literally invite them into the factory. They get to see behind the walls how we build, what we do. And I think that really is, that's the proof to everybody, and we were just talking about it. We have to overbuild your house to be able to do what we do. We have to deliver it on today's highway system and lift it with a crane and not have damage. You couldn't do that with a traditional on-site house. It wouldn't stand up to it. And we do a lot of other things, because to make that house more comfortable and enjoyable, we have access to the interior walls before we close the house in. So you don't have the drafts, you don't have the air infiltration. This is a much more energy efficient house, much cheaper to live in house, and I think overall much more comfortable house to live in for the long term.
Well, I would agree with you on that. Being the real estate in Seattle, Washington, since 1998, and owned, operated Windermere Real Estate, which is doing about 32% of the local market share here. And I seen thousands of homes. We preview thousands of homes, but happen to see the home that you build, such a unique, high quality, and I cannot wait to introducing this home to our investor and our buyer. After all, home housing is the biggest investment for a lot of people, right? So yeah, so I wrote down here. It's also, each project is unique. Each modular unit is built systematically and monitor every step along the way. It ensures a high level, a consistent quality. Modular building design control using the latest cutting-edge factory technology, and it's built only in the system with the IBC, as IC code product. At the same code that build project, factory production, worker, process, material, construction, assembly, all specially geared to the high standard, and in terms of the factory, do not build the statement that I have here. I started the modular build for our Hilton project in San Diego with 423 units, 1.2 miles from the ocean on the five level. And when we working on this particular project with a factory that we have in Boise, Idaho, we know that factory is great building, and that's when we exposed to this concept of the modular build, but they do not build residential,
Right.
And so I had been going around and seeking for a high quality factory builder that build residential, Michigan, and that's how we met. And then that's how I wanted to introduce building our go ahead, getting the investor to put in the funding, and we to build the factory for state of Washington. And we also built our factory for another factory in Clark County, Nevada, to serve the California market. So I have nothing but strong support from the investor, and so in terms of marriage, the housing ownership plus the U.S. green card, we have 100% approved and support from our investor. So so we now be able to say that modular technology, and I can look at it from the factory, and we are going to build a factory and look at the information that I learned from a factory that building apartment plus hospitality, and now we work to introduce in your product, which is residential housing, and so we're pretty excited about that. And also the we have the opportunity to work with one of our EB5 investor from Hanoi, Vietnam. I understand right now it's very challenging to ship a lot of interior product from China to the US due to the trade war between the two countries, the tariff tax between 16 and 32%. You know, that's also a challenge. But last year in 2022, we had the biggest years of the export from China, right? Even with the tariff at 16 and 32%. Yeah, it's never been in the history of the United States that we have the very large export year from China to the US due to the COVID for 2 years prior to that. So I think going forward, we still wanted to work with a lot of investors that want to pursuing the American dream by owning a high quality modular residential, either in Washington State or California and Texas and nationwide. But like I mentioned, we are building one, but then when we find this is the good system and good people, and the property built in a very highly quality market. But I can see nothing but success. And so far, we have been able to add a lot of broker owner in terms of supporting us and help to get this unit sold to the home buyer. And we have nothing but positive feedback. So we are excited to go into the modular build and build out those residential home. At the same time, committed ourselves into pulling great company, good people, and Mr. Ken, you coming in and helping us out with your knowledge, your expertise, and your experience in residential modular construction. On the behalf of all the investors, I wanted to welcome you to our system, and we excited, and we are honored to partner with you. And we wanted to go and see many unit built and get it to the end user.
I'm looking forward to building a lot of homes. I've looked at your projects. I think we have some wonderful opportunities, and I'm looking forward to the next step of starting a factory where we can really hit the next level of delivery for models and product.
Thank you, Mr. Ken. And that's what I wanted to have this opportunity here on Friday and introduce you to the best program for both US and Asia residential market, so that we can get to know us. And then we also have a showroom in Asia, in Vietnam, that where you're gonna be able to see a lot of all the home that we're gonna build out on the 3D at the presentation, or you can look at our showroom in our USAsia marketplace and be able to see for yourself the people, the home, right, and experience for yourself the American dream that that bring to you. So with that, I think that we have this great introduction here. Mr. John Stiver from the Regional Center EB5, would you like to give some feedback to our customer?
Well, I'm just really excited that we're able to talk with Ken and his just impressive history of home building. I mean, it's fantastic, and I'm grateful to be a part of it. I'm excited to be able to bring some EB5 money into the deal and to help us build more homes and starting out in Washington State and as we move and grow. So I'm just really excited to be here.
Thank you, Mr. John. Thank you, Mr. Ken.